go after. I think that he caught him something, and he just thought, okay, I can end it right here. And he went away from his discipline. If he had that discipline, if his camp did have that, because they didn't show me that they had the right plan. Because Ryan showed me, Tank showed me that him and his team had a good plan. They had a good strategic plan. I didn't see that for the most part, except the first round, but I didn't see beyond that. So I don't know how much faith to put in it. I didn't see that from his camp or from his perspective. But from the Tank camp and the Tank perspective, I saw a good battle plan, and they stuck to it. He had to use the jab. Everyone talked about the jab of Garcia, but Tank had to use his jab too. So he didn't get dominated in that area. So he could stabilize Garcia a little bit. So he had to use his jab. He couldn't reach in, so he didn't reach in. He had to try to draw. In our fight plan, which got a hell of a lot of views, and in the last week's episode, which got a hell of a lot of views, I talked about there's two ways for Tank, for any shorter man to get to the taller man. One is the traditional way, go get him, work your way in. The other way is to get him to come to you. And in the second round, that happened, to lay traps, to step back, give up ground a little bit. Now, he got forced into that situation, Tank, when he got buzzed a little bit. But where he gets tremendous credit from Teddy Atlas is how he kept his cool, how he kept his mind, how he kept his composure, how he stayed calm in an uncalm environment. And even while he was surviving, he was grabbing, he was doing whatever he had to do, to survive. Garcia was trying to rough him up a little bit.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Hall of Fame, well-renowned, iconic, world champion trainer, and colorful analyst and boxing pundit, and podcast host, Teddy Atlas, he absolutely goes in on the highly anticipated lightweight catchweight showdown that took place this past Saturday between undefeated three-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis and undefeated lightweight junior welterweight Mexican superstar title contender King Ryan Garcia. This was a highly anticipated mega pay-per-view showdown, but it was more of a popularity contest because one fighter was far more inexperienced than the other fighter. A lot of potential. And that's because you had undefeated three-division champion who simultaneously held the WBA super title at super featherweight, regular title at lightweight and junior welterweight, Gervonta Tank Davis, who was a five-time world champion. He held the WBA super title at super featherweight, the IBF super title at super featherweight, and he's a three-division world champion, and he's been under the big lights for quite some time. Then you had another fighter in Ryan Garcia, who has a lot of potential, who has a huge brand that was built outside of the respective sport in the sport of boxing. And so he was, inexperienced, but he has talent. He has potential, extremely fast hands, power in both hands. But there's experience issues for Ryan Garcia. He just lacks experience, okay? And he was going into this fight with well-renowned Hall of Fame iconic trainer in Joe Goosen. And you see him training here at 10 Goosen's gym in California. And Joe Goosen, you see Teddy Atlas feels like Ryan Garcia was ill-prepared. He wasn't equipped for this fight, okay? And he feels like the team of Ryan Garcia let Ryan Garcia down. Now, you had Joe Goosen, who told the world, after, we heard about the reports and we heard about the rumors that Ryan Garcia, as you see Joe Goosen in the back, he's in the back, okay? Pay attention to that picture there. He's in the background, right? And Joe Goosen stated that you don't train Ryan Garcia. He trains himself, essentially. He has his own philosophy, his own way of doing things, and you just partner up with him. But he praised him, saying that Ryan Garcia has such a high ring IQ. He's like a coach himself. He's like a trainer himself in the ring and in training and preparation and looking at and breaking down his opponents in the fights. And he also stated that, Ryan Garcia was in the best shape of his life, that he was going to shock the world and defeat Gervonta Tank Davis. And as the fight unfolded, and in the second round, you can see the inexperience of Ryan Garcia. You can see the mistakes and the bad habits presenting themselves, and you knew it was just a matter of time for a talent and a student of the game and a fighter of Gervonta Tank Davis caliber, who is a southpaw, who has extremely high ring IQ, very accurate, very sharp with his punches, makes great adjustments, understands, keeps cool, calm, and collective under pressure. He understands what's going on, understands every second, every inch of the squared circle. And Joe Goosen allowed his fighter to go into this fight knowing he was ill prepared for this fight. He wasn't equipped and wasn't ready for this fight, although he pushed for this fight. And so Joe Goosen has to take a lot of the blame, because Joe Goosen should have knew, and he should have pulled out. If the reports that Ryan Garcia was only showing up to Joe Goosen's gym 3 times a week for sparring, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and he wasn't committed, Joe Goosen should have pulled out of the fight. He should have stayed and told Ryan Garcia, we're going into this fight with a very dangerous fighter, and if you want to do things on your own, my namesake is at stake as well, and I have to back off of this fight. I absolutely cannot go into this fight with you half doing things in this fight. If you're going to, train and not give it your all and not commit 1,000%, and we're going to have, a partial training camp, I'm not doing this. I can't attach my name to it, is what Joe Goosen should have done. But instead, he praised Ryan Garcia. And then as soon as Ryan Garcia got dropped in the second round and then stopped in the 7th round, post-fight, Joe Goosen disappeared, okay? Like he was the entire camp. And we knew that he wasn't showing up and wasn't training like he should, at least with Joe Goosen. We see him training with everybody but Joe Goosen. And so Joe Goosen should have backed out, because Joe Goosen is the lead mind, okay, in this. He has the boxing mind. Not to disrespect anybody in Ryan Garcia and Ryan Garcia's corner, but Joe Goosen is the man to help you prepare for the fights. And why bring him in as a figurehead? We heard this from well-renowned 2-time trainer of the year, future Hall of Famer Eddie Reynoso, and 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who's currently the undisputed super middleweight. They all uttered the same sentiments, that Ryan Garcia is not fully committed to the sport of boxing. He told Eddie Reynoso he'd come at 12, he'd show up at 2 and leave 15 minutes later. We had Canelo Alvarez say that it's a shame that Ryan Garcia is wasting his talent. Ryan Garcia, he gave pushback to that, said it wasn't true, and that Canelo Alvarez was just being a hater, right? Or just backing Eddie Reynoso and never accepted him, is what Ryan Garcia stated. But Eddie Reynoso said that Ryan Garcia just wasn't committed. And Ryan Garcia said, well, it was Eddie Reynoso's fault, because Eddie Reynoso didn't have time for him, right? So Canelo Alvarez wasn't accepting of that, and Canelo Alvarez bucked back, and he stated, that's simply not true. Ryan Garcia was the one that was half doing things as far as training, and it's a shame because he lets his talents go to waste. So now we hear the same story and same reports coming from Joe Goosen, right? Now, Joe Goosen himself is not saying this, but then post-fight press conference after Ryan gets knocked out, Joe Goosen disappears, right? No, you praised him. You told the world that he was going to shock the world when you knew he wasn't ready. And if you knew he wasn't ready, you should have disattached your name from this fight, point blank and period. But let's just finish listening to what Teddy Atlas had to say, shall we?
For Red, you see everything. When he was in that 7th round, when Garcia again, he had no business being that close. It's a battle of geography, my friend. He had no business, and that's got to be drummed into his head in the gym. I'm sorry, in camp, it's got to be drummed into his head. You've been in camp with me. When I had fighters that were too close, that one was supposed to be close, I would jump in the ring. I would literally jump in. Stop! Jump in the ring in the middle of sparring, but I'm doing good. No, you're not. You're not doing what you need to do. You might be doing good on the inside for the next 30 seconds, but 40 seconds from now, he's going to be doing good. You don't belong there. You're not going to win this fight fighting in there. Get on the freaking outside. And then I would let him start sparring again. Yeah, it's a tough business. Yeah, you got to do that sometimes. The consequences are awful unforgiving, awful tough. So it's a tough business. Yeah, you got to do that sometimes. The consequences are awful unforgiving, awful tough. So I don't care if I got in there and bothered him. I bothered him on purpose to correct something right there when it had to be corrected. Because, and again, the guy might be doing good on the inside. I don't care. If our battle plan was to win the fight and know we had an advantage and a disadvantage on the inside and an advantage on the outside, I didn't let him do it. I didn't let him do it. I don't care if he was having success for a fleeting moment, a fleeting freaking moment. And that's what it was. Where, again, in the 7th round, he's in close. You don't belong there. You don't belong there. I don't care if you can win for 10 seconds. You don't belong there. And what happens? While he's there, he throws a punch. And when you throw a punch, you expose something. He exposed his body. He threw the right hand. The elbow came up. He exposed the body. Tank was in close proximity, which he wanted, which it shouldn't have been, but it was. It was good for Tank, bad for Garcia. And what's he do? He times him perfectly.
So as you see, right, Teddy Atlas, he broke it down. He said that, when it's his fighter in the gym, you supposed to put your best foot forward. You supposed to be more stern. You supposed to demand a certain level of success from your fighter. You supposed to demand, that your fighter, do the right thing in the ring, right? And that, he was allowed to get away with bad habits in the gym. And it showed up the night of the fight, point blank and period. And Teddy Atlas is 1,000% correct. Because, again, like I said, Joe Goosen knew that Ryan Garcia wasn't committed. Ryan Garcia wasn't doing the right thing. And he allowed it to continue on. He allowed to go with the flow instead of detaching his name from the situation. He should have detached his name from the situation, and he should have stated, listen, you know what? I can't do this. You're not prepared. You're not ready. And Joe Goosen should have walked away. But he walked away after Ryan Garcia gets knocked out. That's distasteful. It's irresponsible from Joe Goosen and a man in his position and his stature to do that. Point blank and period. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.
Hi, my name is Heather the Heat Hardy, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.